Welcome back to Movies on the Brain, where we dive into adrenaline-pumping action and cinematic thrills. I'm Jason, and today I'm putting the pedal to the metal with Need for Speed. Directed by Scott Waugh, Need for Speed brings the heart-pounding excitement of street racing to the big screen. With performances from Aaron Paul, Dominic Cooper, and Imogen Poots, this film delivers high-speed action and a quest for revenge that keeps the adrenaline flowing. In Need for Speed, it's all about skill, speed, and a relentless drive for justice. Let's rev up and dive into this thrilling ride to see how it captures the spirit of the beloved video game franchise. Need for Speed opened in theaters on March 14th, 2014 with a budget of $66 million. During its 14-week theatrical run, it earned $43.5 million domestically and $159.7 million internationally, making a worldwide total of $203.2 million. Its opening weekend saw it earn $17.8 million, finishing number 3 in the box office, behind only Mr. Peabody and Sherman and 300 Rise of an Empire, numbers 1 and 2 respectively. Its final week in theater saw it earn $23,133, finishing its box office run at number 61. Toby Marshall is a former race car driver who owns his late father's garage, Marshall Performance Motors, in Mount Kisco, New York, where he and his friends tune performance cars. Struggling to make ends meet, he and his crew participate in street races after hours. After a race, Toby's former rival Dino Brewster conscripts them into completing the build for a rare Ford Shelby Mustang worked on by the late Carroll Shelby in exchange for 25% of the car's sales revenue. The completed Mustang is displayed for auction at a party in New York City. Toby and Dino meet Julia Madden, an English car broker whose client, Bill Ingram, wants to purchase the car if they can prove it will drive over 230 miles per hour, as Toby claims. Despite Dino's objections, Toby takes the Mustang to a local racetrack and successfully drives it at 234 miles per hour, convincing Ingram to purchase it for $2.7 million. Enraged by Toby's disobedience to his objections, Dino challenges Toby and his friend Pete to a race after Pete flatly tells Dino that everyone knows Toby is a better driver than him. Dino offers to relinquish his entire share of the Mustang sale if Toby wins, otherwise Toby will have to forfeit his share. He challenges them to a race with his uncle's 3 Koenigsegg Agera R cars illegally imported from Europe. On the home stretch, realizing he is about to lose the race, Dino intentionally rams into Pete's car, sending it down a ravine and killing Pete as it bursts into flames. Dino disappears from the scene while Toby is arrested by the police and sentenced to 2 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter, unable to prove Dino was there. Upon his release on parole, Toby sets out to avenge Pete's death. He borrows Ingram's Mustang to enter the De Leon, a winner-takes-all exotic car race organized by the mysterious monarch. But as a condition, Ingram requires Julia to accompany Toby while Toby is driving the Mustang. The pair have 45 hours to reach San Francisco before the race starts. In Detroit, they cause an interstate chase with the Michigan State Police and upload the footage. Dino offers his rare Lamborghini Sesto Elemento to anyone who could stop Toby entering the race, causing a group of truckers to go after the Mustang as well. Julia retaliates by convincing Monarch of Toby's innocence, securing his invitation to the De Leon. In Utah, Toby and Julia are ambushed by truckers, forcing them off the road. Benny, a member of Toby's crew, appears in a military helicopter stolen from the National Guard and carries the Mustang mid-air to Toby's crew at the Bonneville Salt Flats, getting himself arrested in the process. Toby and Julia reach San Francisco's Mark Hopkins Hotel in time to register for the race, but on Nob Hill, a tow truck operated by one of Dino's henchmen smashes into the Mustang, wrecking it and injuring Julia. Desperate to get another car for the race, Toby meets his ex-girlfriend and Pete's sister, Anita, who is now Dino's fiancée. Having discovered Dino's involvement in Pete's death, Anita gives Toby the location of Dino's hidden at Koenigsegg, which Toby and crew member Joe extract. Toby meets Julia at a San Francisco hospital, confessing his feelings for her with a kiss and letting her know that he has a fast car and that this is for Pete. The next morning, Toby surprises Dino by not only showing up in the red Koenigsegg he drove when Pete was killed, but also giving him Anita's engagement ring, informing Dino that she is through with him. In the ensuing race along the Pacific Coast Highway, the racers and pursuing California Highway Patrol officers crash one by one, leaving Toby and Dino racing side by side. Dino attempts to ram Toby the same way he killed Pete, but Toby dodges, causing Dino to crash and flip over. Toby pulls Dino from the wreckage before reaching the finish line, but not without punching Dino to avenge Pete. Both are subsequently apprehended by the police, with Dino eventually convicted of the murder of Pete. 178 days later, Toby is released, and Julia meets him at the prison gates in a 2015 Ford Mustang. The couple drives to a prison in Utah where Benny is getting released for good behavior. Now let's look at the cast and some of their other roles. Aaron Paul as Toby Marshall. Other roles for Aaron Paul include Jesse Pinkman in the TV show Breaking Bad, Gabe Welch in 999, and Joshua in Exodus, Gods and Kings. Dominic Cooper as Dino Brewster. Other roles for Dominic Cooper include Jesse Custer in the TV show Preacher, Mark in The Escape, and Sky in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Imogen Poots as Julia Madden. Other roles for Imogen Poots include Riley in Black Christmas, Anna in The Art of Self-Defense, and Autumn Rivers in the TV show Outer Range. Scott Mescudi as Benny Jackson. Other roles for Scott Mescudi include Jackson in X, The Thinker, and Trap, and Agent Mason in the TV show Knuckles. Ramon Rodriguez as Joe Peck. Other roles for Ramon Rodriguez include Will Trent in the TV show Will Trent, Leo Spitz in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and John in Lullaby. Rami Malek as Finn. Other roles for Rami Malek include Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, Elliot Anderson in the TV show Mr. Robot, and Joshua in the Until Dawn video game. Michael Keaton as Monarch. Other roles for Michael Keaton include Stan Hurley in American Assassin, V.A. Vanderveer in 2019's Dumbo, and Walter Nelson in Minions. Dakota Johnson as Anita Coleman. Other roles for Dakota Johnson include Anastasia Steele in the 50 Shades of Grey franchise, Eleanor in the Peanut Butter Falcon, and Cassandra Webb in Madam Web. Harrison Gilbertson as Pete Coleman. Other roles for Harrison Gilbertson include Aaron Keem in Upgrade, James Reed in the TV show Harrow, and Philip Morrison in Oppenheimer. You know, I really liked Michael Keaton's character, Monarch, giving us a monologue of Toby Marshall and a bit of Dino, followed by seeing Toby and the gang, seeing the drive-in theater showing Bullet, specifically that amazing car chase, was awesome to see, especially because I believe I watched Bullet shortly before I rewatched this for this review. Just from their first interaction, I love the chemistry between Dakota Johnson and Aaron Paul. I really like that first race. It really sets the tone for the rest of the movie. I do kind of wish we had gotten a montage of Toby and the crew working on the Mustang before it was shown off. I like that our introduction to Julia is that she acts like she isn't very smart about cars. It gives Pete a chance to shine. The scene where Dino shows Pete and Toby the Koenigsegg's and the shot Pete takes at Dino coupled with Toby's reaction is great. The race between Pete, Dino, and Toby is really well shot. And I think when Dino wrecked Pete, he wasn't expecting the car to fly up when it did. But when he saw Toby turn around, he decided he wanted the money more than actually checking on Pete. Joe staring daggers through Dino at Pete's funeral was actually a nice touch. And then showing Toby in prison trying to prove Dino was racing as well is all a really well done scene. I do like the time lapse of Toby's shop showing it closing to being boarded up. I do like Kid Cudi's character, Benny, being the guy picking Toby up from prison. I think Aaron Paul is one of those actors who has on-screen chemistry with just about anybody because everybody he's interacted with this and him play so well off of each other, especially Imogen Poots, Dakota Johnson, and Dominic Cooper. The driving scene to try to scare Julia was so much fun to watch, and the references Benny kept spouting off was really neat. And then to cap it off with the only actor in this film that's a singer to a few lines of Fly Like an Eagle was a nice touch. The scene where Finn quits his job in Detroit is so funny to me because him stripping everything off is so extra, but it's funny as well. I do like how Julia kept surprising Toby with all the things she does. Julia defending Toby to Monarch and getting him invited to the De Leon was such a great scene. That was a fun little action scene with Imogen Poots putting on a southern accent, ending with the cop car losing its rear axle. That scene with Julia and Toby arguing about whose eyes are bluer is pretty funny, but it's done to calm Julia down, which honestly I do think Julia's are just a little bit bluer. I remember the first time I watched this in theaters when Toby and Julia get into the accident after checking in for the Daily On. It legitimately shocked me. That entire final race is so good. The crashes are well shot, and the close-ups of Dino and Toby during the race are awesome. And then the tears once Toby realizes Pete's vision came true. Then Julia picking up Toby in the Mustang prototype at that time was awesome. Overall, I love this film. It's such a fun ride and story, and I think it captures the idea of the video games perfectly. Now for some fun facts and trivia. Majority of the car stunts in this film were done practically using car shells with hardly any visual effects used. Body shell for the Koenigsegg, a $4.6 million supercar, cost roughly $30,000. Sorry. Executive producer Steven Spielberg was binge watching Breaking Bad and decided, along with director Scott Waugh, that Aaron Paul shouldn't play the villain but the lead instead. Aaron Paul said in an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, said it during an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live. The song played in the last scene and the closing credits of the film was written and performed by Kid Cudi, who plays Benny in the movie. The scene for the top speed test for the Mustang was filmed at Road Atlanta. Due to Aaron Paul's height being just short of 5'8", most of the cast was selected with similar height so that the main hero's presence doesn't look negligible. According to cinematographer Shane Hurlbert, in his Illumination masterclass, the budget was cut about 6 weeks prior to shooting. They had to trim days from 80 to 67. Faced with a reduced budget, he told the producers they could still do it with a ton of cameras, which turned out to mean 50 cameras in order to get as much footage as possible every take. They used 15 Canon C500s, 4 Reflex Alexas, 11 Canon 1DCs, and 20 GoPros. The release of the film also coincided with the latest game in the franchise at the time, Need for Speed Rivals. So as a special celebration, the blue and silver Mustang concept was added to the game as the Mustang GT NFS movie car. The majority of the film's plot is inspired by Need for Speed The Run, where a cross-state race is held between San Francisco and New York. In the movie, however, the course is reversed. And that's a wrap on my review of Need for Speed. This movie delivers high-octane thrills, daring stunts, and a story that keeps the engine roaring from start to finish. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like and subscribe to Movies on the Brain for more action-packed breakdowns. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Need for Speed. Did it hit top gear for you, or was it stuck in neutral? Drop your comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your engine running and your foot on the gas.